Hey everybody, my name is Nathan, and today I'm going to go over vector mode on the Cedar Valley Makerspace laser cutter. The laser cutter is easily one of the most used tools in the space, and it's extremely powerful. However, it's a good idea to make sure the laser is the best tool for your project before you try and use it. There's a detailed flowchart that tells you if the laser is right for your project at cedarvalleymakers.org, and we'll put a link in the description. Vector mode is one of two modes available on the laser, and it allows for the cutting and etching of lines into different materials. In order to use the laser in vector mode, you will need to have a design in vector form. This can be done in any number of different programs, but Inkscape is the most common one and free to use. Vectors are lines drawn with mathematical instructions, and programs like Inkscape make it easy and intuitive to create vector drawings. In vector mode, the cutting head on the laser will follow the path of each line in the chosen design. For this reason, it's ideal for cutting or etching lines. If you're more interested in engraving, we will be posting a video about raster mode soon. Alright, with all that out of the way, we can get started. Let's go. Alright, so I needed a project to put on the laser, and this cake pan light project, which we'll be using for future videos for lighting, seemed like a good choice. So I designed this shape in Inkscape to fit inside the cake pan, and you're going to want to do that for any vector mode projects that you want to do on the laser cutter as well. We open up full spectrum laser software, and here we have the design open in Inkscape as well. And all we do to get that project right into the laser software is go to File and Print, and we make sure that full spectrum engineering driver is selected, and then that should be it, and we click Print. And just like that, the project will load right into the laser software, and we're going to want to go to vector mode. We can zoom out, and we want to make sure that our dimensions are what we think they are, because you never want to accidentally cut something out early and realize that it's wrong. All right, next we're going to want to go check connection, and notice that the laser is not connected down in the bottom left corner of the laser software. So of course we're going to have to turn it on. The method of doing this is turning on the master power first, and then you're going to turn on the laser power. And once this happens, it's going to have a short boot time. And in the meantime, we can set ventilation. So on the left side of the laser, there are two levers. And for vector mode, which is what we're going to do, we're going to want the bottom one to be pulled out and the upper one to be pushed in. This means that the air will be going down through the bottom of the bed. And when we turn on the ventilation outside the door, the airflow will be happening inside the laser. All right, our IP number has appeared on the screen, and if we refresh the laser software, we should be able to see that the laser has connected. So now we have the laser connected, but if we look closely, we can see that the laser is not homed, which means that the laser software does not know where the laser tool head is, and this is important so it doesn't crash. To home the laser, you just hit the button with the house symbol on it, and the laser head will move to the upper right-hand corner. And now we can look and see that it is homed. Next, we want to put our material on the laser bed and position the tool head over the top of it. We'll do this by selecting the mode we want on the far left-hand button, and by pressing it over and over again, you can see the various control options. We're going to stop on fast XY, and this will allow us to move the cutting head with the arrows. Now it's critical when moving any part of the laser cutter that you don't crash the cutting head into something that doesn't want to move. If this happens or is about to happen, press the big red button as quickly as you can. In order to restart the laser, you twist the button and the power will come back on. So we're going to move to the upper left-hand corner, It's important to remember that all laser jobs begin from the upper left-hand corner of the piece, so keep that in mind when you're positioning the tool head. So now that we have our piece positioned, we want to check the dimensions of our design on our piece. So to do that, we're going to select the bounding box button, which is a rectangle made of arrows, and we can watch the tool head as it moves across the piece, and that fits, so we're good to go. Now we're going to want to adjust laser power. I want to cut through this piece, but I do not need maximum power, so I'm going to set it to 70. And you can set lines to different colors in the laser software. You can also import them this way from Inkscape or other programs, and you can adjust power and the number of passes for different colored lines as well. In this case, I only want to cut, so one color is sufficient. Next up, we want to focus the laser, and that depends on the focal length of the lens installed. Various standoffs for different focal lengths can be found on the board next to the computer, and these standoffs are used to measure the distance between your piece and the lens and the laser. If the Z height isn't correct, you're going to want to adjust it. Start by selecting Slow Z with the selection button on the left side of the laser. Now you can use the up and down arrows on the laser control panel to adjust the height of the bed. Again, make sure you never allow the cutting head to crash into any part of the laser, including the bed or the sides. Alright, now that we've done all that, it's time to check over everything one more time and run the job. You click the play button in the top of the laser software, and the cut should begin momentarily. Make sure when the job on the laser is running, you do not stare at the laser. Staring at laser light is bad for your eyes. Once your job is complete, you can retrieve the parts off of the laser bed immediately. It should not be hot to the touch. And just like that, we're done with the part. Alright, next up we'll do a quick assembly, and then it's time to clean up the laser cutter. If you want to see more of this project and how it turned out, we will be posting a build video to YouTube very soon. And look at that, isn't that lovely? Perfect fit. First try. Alright, it's time to turn off the laser ventilation and turn off the laser. First we're going to home the laser so it starts back in the same place for the next user. And we will turn off the laser power, and we will shut off the main power. And lastly, before we leave, we want to close all the windows on the computer, but leave it on for the next person. The laser in the Makerspace is one of the most powerful and easy to use tools we have. Here are some really cool member-made projects to prove it. That concludes this video. We hope it was useful to you, and you're inspired to come up and use the laser for your own really cool projects. If you have any more questions about the laser, refer to the resources page on the Cedar Valley Makers website, or refer to our previous videos on using the laser. If you don't find your answers there, feel free to email info@cedarvalleymakers.org. Thanks for watching, and happy making!